Good morning, Wrestling Inc. Happy Friday. Get up, get going. We have a huge show for you here today. It is me, your managing editor of WrestlingInc.com, Nick Hausman, joined here as I am every Friday to have a little fun to talk all the pro wrestling news of the past 24 hours is Christy Olson. Christy, welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
Thank you so much, Nick. I would dare to say that we have a lot of fun over here on Fridays.
Oh, we have a ton of fun. I'm wearing my floral shirt yet again. It's a Floral Friday. I got my big cup of coffee here, fresh, hot, piping hot right here today. My God, I'm in a good mood, Christy.
Well, you know what, Nick? I really like this top that you have chosen for the last 3 weeks now. Is that right?
Yeah, it's Floral Friday. It's my shirt. Yes, my Friday shirt.
Okay, well, to save myself a little hassle on what I'm going to wear, I think I'm just going to adopt this and wear the same thing every week too. Everybody let me know if you think what I call my NWO dress here should be my every Friday outfit.
I dig it. I think it looks great. Maybe more floral patterns is all I'm going to say.
You want us to match. I can appreciate that. Like Destiny's Child back in the day.
Absolutely like Destiny's Child back in the day. When I think of you and I'm like, wow. That's Destiny's Child right there. Yeah.
You are, of course, our Beyonce, Nick.
Well, yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Queen Bee, Nick Hausman over here. We have, like I say, big show, lots of laughs, lots of fun. Earlier this week, we were raided. We had a Twitch raid over on the show where a bunch of people showed up in the comment section, which is already popping here, by the way. Praddock here. Hello. Good morning, Alonzo. Hello. Good morning, Nick and Christy. Hi. Hello, everybody out there. But we got raided. All these random people I'd never seen before were jumping into our comment section. It turns out former Lucha Underground champion Marty the Moth had decided to tell all of his Twitch followers to raid the show. He just said, he's like, let's all just go raid the show. So a bunch of people tuned in randomly. I had no idea what was happening. And I was like, wow, this is great. Thank you for doing that. Would you like to come on the show? So yesterday, Marty and I caught up. And then so today, if you're watching us in video form at 1 p.m. Eastern, so in about 56 minutes, my interview with Marty the Moth is going to debut over on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel. It's really good. Like, he's actually somebody I'd wanted to talk to for a while. And he's not an easy guy to get a hold of. And so the fact that he landed at my doorstep, I was like, we're going to talk. You know,
see, that is the magic of going live, Nick. This whole thing, it just couldn't get any better. It's like we got the fans here. Now the talent themselves are tuned in. Man, the power of connecting with humans once again.
Yes, exactly. So Marty the Moth, thank you for rating us earlier this week. You're going to be a part of the show today. You can go find him on YouTube. And of course, if you're listening to us in audio form, you know the deal. You're going to hear Marty the Moth right after we talk the news here in just a moment. Comment section is open. You guys are engaging. Thank you so much. Hearts, smiley faces, sad faces, whatever it is, the thumbs up stuff. All of that is good as well. I like to see you both react with emojis and with your words throughout the show. And as you saw already, we can take your comment here, like always Squeezy, who said good morning, everyone. With the
good morning, always Squeezy.
With the terrifying The Fiend Bray Wyatt picture there.
Little juxtaposition. I like it.
Not so squeezy. We're going to dive into the mailbag at the end of the show. We're going to look at the women's Money in the Bank. And speaking of the women, we found out earlier this week Bayley was injured. We want to send our best to her. We found out yesterday she underwent surgery, I'm assuming successfully, on her torn ACL. 9 months, Christy.
You know, but when these things happen, it's the other superstars pick up the slack, right, and keep everything moving. And then I'm sure pretty soon it'll just be like, oh, it's been 9 months. Bayley is back. You know what I mean? And she also is the kind of star who she should take her time right now and focus on healing, of course. But I think she's going to be really good at keeping everyone talking about her via social media. And of course, WWE wants to keep her in our minds as well. So I'm really curious how they're going to do that. But, we just wish her the best, man.
Yeah, Bayley's the best. So
very sad. It really is.
So heal up, Bayley. It's time for news you can use. News will leave a bruise. We have a lot of WWE news to get to here, but I did want to start with the AEW news that got a lot of attention yesterday. WrestleNomics, which is, I guess, now the new Showbuzz Daily. Rest in peace. They're reporting that Wednesday's live Fyter Fest Night 1 edition of Dynamite did 1.025 million viewers. That's up 17.68% from last week's Road Rager, which did 871,000. Dynamite did a 0.4, that 18 to 49. That's up 21.21% from last week. Fyter Fest Night 1 drew the most viewers, the best key demo since the May 5th Blood and Guts Dynamite. That was a really hype show, too. That was really
memorable.
Very memorable. This was the third best viewership, third best key demo of the year. Second hour went up again, or the second hour went up against the NBA Finals on ABC, which, you know, I feel like is always an excuse for people when these viewership numbers come out. Oh, well, sports was on. There was the NBA Finals on. They still did 1 million. Last week's Dynamite viewership, or last night's or Wednesday night's Dynamite viewership, up 30.8% from the same week in 2020. So 1 in 3 people were added from last year at this time from the Fight for the Fallen episode. That went head-to-head with NXT on Wednesday nights. The key demo also up 37.93% from the same week last year.
That's money in your budget, baby.
Yeah, Ryan O'Toole. What the heck brought 1 million viewers to AEW? I'll tell you what brought him there. Excitement, right? I mean, it was a good card. There was some fairly hype matches. The Darby-Ethan one for sure, and it delivered. But it's just an exciting time, Christy. I can see SmackDown doing big numbers, Raw doing big numbers. It's just exciting right now, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, the pro wrestling world essentially has all eyes on it right now as being the one that's kind of getting back to usual, and it's working. You know, there isn't a whole lot else going on with it being summer and all that kind of stuff as far as TV and film and all that goes. Like we saw Fast and Furious, now that's over. People are excited about this, and that's understandable. I am not at all shocked to hear that they pulled this number. Like you said, this was a big show, and it never stopped. Like there was not one point in the show where I would have clicked over to see what was going on something else, right? Or fast forwarded through. Yeah, man, I think, like you say, things are going well. This is just going to be the new norm for AEW and everybody else.
And I think this is, you know, I'm WWE. I don't know what I make of this, right? Like you're obviously top dog. Nobody's going to unseat you. You're a McDonald's. But is Burger King in the wing, right? You know, is this the rise of the legitimate long-term number 2? Because this does not look to me like a company that is showing any signs of slowing down. I mean, when you see a 30% increase in viewership from where you were the year before, and I know you were head-to-head with NXT, even still, that's very impressive, Christy. That's very, very impressive.
It's impressive. And even more importantly is the growth from night 1. You know, that big premiere, what was it, a year and a half ago now, when they first came out with so much fanfare and so much publicity, and they hadn't really been able to match that hype and to maintain that kind of a rating for any period of time. Now we're finally there. This is going to be that growth. This is going to be that time of proving to everybody that they are here to stay.
Yeah, that's great. Antonio saying that's great. We need wrestling to be strong as a whole. Eric Clark, that AEW show was crazy. It was. Praddock here saying SmackDown could draw 2.8 million viewers. I think that's possible. Maybe more. I'm excited. I'm going to be watching SmackDown tonight. I mean, I usually watch it on Monday mornings. It's a great way to start your week. At least it has been through the pandemic. But I want to watch the show tonight, Christy.
Yes, while we're admitting things, I'll admit that I always record it and then kind of see what I hear, what went over well, you know, who do I want to see do their thing. But I am with you. Tonight I will be tuning in live, and it's because of the women's Money in the Bank match. All
right. Well, hey, we'll get to that at the end of the show. Here's something else, though, that might wet your whistle as we get excited for these live events returning. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna do the thing that broke this morning. We're gonna do this now since we're talking SmackDown stuff. Then we'll change up the run sheet. So there was this news item that just dropped. I haven't even read this whole thing yet, but it's SmackDown related. While we're talking SmackDown, the Observer saying that Jimmy Uso's current storyline with his cousin Roman Reigns, his brother Jey Uso, is a major part of the plans for WrestleMania 38 in 2022. It was noted that the goal is to do something with The Rock and Reigns at WrestleMania 38 next year. And if concessions have to be made due to Rock and his movie career, out of concerns for potential injuries, then they would do a tag team match so that Rock can be protected from doing too much. The idea between the tag team match is that they would keep the family or the feud, all of the family, and decide who is the real tribal chief, Reigns or Rock. The Rock versus Reigns singles match is the preferred way to go, but any involvement with The Rock is best for business. So basically the idea would be that The Rock gets one Uso brother, Roman gets another Uso brother. That's the tag match to settle the score on who is the tribal chief of the Anawahi family.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes total sense. I think that would be enough of The Rock to satisfy people. You know, I to be honest with you, I'm usually weary of throwing the big star in a tag match. Like this is how we see a lot of veterans come back, right? I think for someone like The Rock, having it be his cousin, you know, there's that built-in story there that we all have been waiting for, and that's probably all we're ever going to get. So let's just take it and be excited about it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, I like it. You know, the only thing I don't want to see if they go this route is the one of the Usos getting pinned. If you're gonna do this, like Roman still has to end up pinning Roman Reigns. I mean, the Usos seem more in the situation like they're there to help protect The Rock, you know, take more bumps and things like that. It doesn't seem like they're trying to, you know, slide a Daniel Bryan in here to like make this, you know, something.
We got to keep everybody strong.
Yeah, I got to keep. That's not how I read this here. At the end of the day, if they do this, and that's fine, I don't mind the booking. I just want to see Roman pin The Rock. That's it. I mean, as long as I get that, I don't care if it's a tag match or not. You know?
It's so interesting because I think that's what we all expect. We know that's what we want. They know that's what we want. So will they give it to us or not? I just love to climb into that psychology of creative, you know?
Sure. Well, the other side, while we're talking creative, so Fightful saying, and this is the biggest news story of the last 24 hours. I want to wait till we had more people in the room so we can all talk about it now, okay? I teased this with Polio Del Mar, Paul Pratt yesterday, and I was like, well, let's think of who are some of the other big names. I was like, well, you know, nobody's really talking about Goldberg, but they always seem to like break the glass in a situation where they need a little hot attention and Goldberg comes out. Well, I guess my instincts were right, Christy. Fightful saying Goldberg's going to return at SummerSlam. The plan for SummerSlam as of yesterday was for Goldberg to challenge Bobby Lashley for the title. He's set to return on Monday's Raw from Dallas, the first Raw on the road since the COVID-19 pandemic hit. So to set up them, he's going to do this to set up a match with Lashley, right? So it would seem Lashley is going to beat Kofi Kingston, and then it'll be Lashley Goldberg for the title at SummerSlam. What do you think about this?
I would be very curious to see what the buildup of that will be. How much are we going to get out of Goldberg leading up to this? Are we going to see him every week? Are they really going to build a story? Or is this just to get Goldberg to SummerSlam to lure in the casual fans kind of a thing? We don't care really what's going on around it, before it or after it, just as long as someone who tunes in for only pay-per-views knows that they're going to see Goldberg on this show.
Yeah. I feel,
How do you feel, Nick?
I don't really know. Like Braddock saying why Goldberg is coming back. That's a great question. Actually, well, Elm Street 20, whatever that series of numbers and words is, can't wait for Goldberg on Raw. Goldberg, look, I'm of two minds. Goldberg gets a lot of attention. Goldberg gets press. Right. You know, you break Goldberg out. Lashley really hasn't had that marquee opponent yet where it kind of gets that mainstream attention. So for that reason, sure. Okay. I get it. All right. The other side of the coin. So you got the mainstream people over here. They're satiated. Goldberg's back, whatever. Then you got the side of the actual wrestling fans where I do think there's like a little bit of resentment kind of towards Goldberg for whatever. I don't even really know if it's fully deserved. A lot of it. I mean, he almost kill the Undertaker? Sure. But like Vince McMahon has made millions and billions for years, taking men that were not the best in-ring workers, that were just big guys that had personalities, and that's part of his business model. Okay. I just don't see Goldberg beating Lashley at SummerSlam as a possibility. If Goldberg beat Lashley at SummerSlam, I think he would get booed out of that building. And I don't know how you could book it any other way than any other way to get it to a point where Goldberg would get cheered in that situation.
But, you know, I don't know that WWE realizes that. You know, they think that they're giving the fans what they want by giving them Goldberg. And that may be the most thought they think they need to put into it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, you know, I don't know. It just, if you're going to give Roman John Cena and Lashley Goldberg. Like, they're both names for sure, but they're on way different tiers, you know? And once again, Raw's getting like a little less than what SmackDown is getting. And I feel bad saying that about Goldberg because Goldberg still draws us stuff, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same, you know?
Well, it's not. And let's think a little bit too about what will make us want to tune into SummerSlam, sure, but what will make us want to continue to tune into Raw and SmackDown for 52 more weeks until the next SummerSlam. And that is incredibly important and is probably something that WWE is putting some amount of energy and attention into, I would hope. But who knows? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, man. There's not a positive comment in the comment section right now about Goldberg. I was looking for him too. Oldberg, a name a lot of people are using versus Lashley. That's good booking. Laughing face. Rob Humphrey. Oh, good. Another wrestling match featuring a guy who can't really wrestle. No thanks. Oldberg. 89, the brainchild. He lost his last 2 matches, which were title matches. He needs some non-title wins before he's handed another main event. And 89,
that's a good point.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is like, I don't see him as a viable. I mean, are you going to come up? You're going to have beat Lashley, who has literally won over, similarly to Roman Reigns, a huge portion of your fan base during a very difficult time. You're going to have Goldberg beat Lashley. I don't see that, Christy. You know.
No, I mean, like you're saying, it just doesn't make sense. Also, what does Goldberg have? We know how many matches he has left on his contract or something, right? So, like, as this gets closer, I think we should kind of be able to figure out and determine, you know, as he lands on TV or this and that, I think we'll be able to pretty accurately predict where this is going. But give us like a week or two.
And maybe, you know what? And again, I'm trying to see everything from other perspectives. And maybe Goldberg, you know, if he has 4 or 5 matches left, maybe him losing every one of them to just put people over that could use a little rub right now is not a bad use of it. But it just, like 89 Brainchild saying here, at a certain point, it just becomes like unbelievable, right? Like he stops becoming a real challenger if he can't ever win. So,
yeah, you know, I think that WWE thinks of him as someone who is on this streak, right? He had this thing and he's Goldberg and all of that. And the fans are like, well, yeah, but we didn't buy into a whole lot of that. And we laugh about it now. And don't you know that?
Yeah, and like Scott's saying here, I'd like to just remember the 99 Goldberg. I don't need the 2021 Goldberg.
Okay, touche.
Let's see here. We have, a lot of people writing in how they'd rather see Brock Lashley. I agree with that.
And they had to know that was coming. That's what we've all been saying.
Antonio Garcia here. They should use SummerSlam to turn Bobby Lashley into a number 1 face. And I think you put him against Goldberg, there's a chance you're going to baby the crap out of him. But,
intentionally or not, right?
I wonder. I mean, we'll see how it goes. That promo on Monday night from Lashley was the best promo of his career. I'm really interested to see how fans take to him on Monday, especially if they have him go face to face with Goldberg. Maybe we do see the double turn in like the first night on Raw. I don't know. So.
Well, see, that's something that we're talking about, making us excited to watch SmackDown and Raw, and that's really what WWE should be focused on right now with SummerSlam.
Last Goldberg comment here. This one's from Charles Williams. The old fans are numb seeing Goldberg, and today's fans are not interested. And I think that kind of maybe hits the nail on the head there, right? Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. Well, Bray Wyatt, he engaged a few fans on Twitter yesterday saying, I miss you guys too, believe me. Now, of course, PW Insider saying Wyatt's purposely been kept off TV for unknown reasons. His absence is not a case of him having heat. He's well-liked. The report added that he is being advertised for future episodes of Raw, and that's an indication he could be in the SummerSlam plans. So another big name seemingly coming back to the party.
Yeah. Are we excited about that one? You know what? I kind of think that maybe, and we'll get into what's happening with the women, of course, but I kind of wonder if Alexa losing maybe at Money in the Bank this weekend could open up a portal for the Fiend to return or something.
Okay. I mean, it's all going to be about who they put him with. I like Bray. I think the Fiend was great when it came out. If you could get it reheated up, wonderful. Just gone a little off the tracks, but yeah, whoever he puts him up against, just kind of depends.
Right. And as far as him being out right now, I think it's probably safe to say that he just wanted to spend some time with his family.
I think so too. King Rail here with a super chat. I'm sorry, but Bill is washed up. Kane would put on a better match. Rather see Big Papa Pump than Bill. I don't know that Scott Steiner's allowed in WWE
No.
or around WWE anymore. I'm not positive. Well,
we should ask him.
Here's one for Braddock. It's a unique set update. At WrestleVote saying the new SmackDown entrance stage is going to look like a giant Tron. It is going to be very impressive for the fans watching at home. It said that the same set, possibly with a minor difference, will also be used for both Raw and SmackDown. So big new Tron debuting tonight.
You know, that's the one thing they do better than absolutely anyone else in the entire world of entertainment is live production. And kind of some of the stuff that they pulled out all the stops for I can't even remember what it's called now with all the faces in the thing. The Thunderdome, right? It's been that long. The Thunderdome is officially dead, y'all. I just killed it. But, you know, they really came up with some cool stuff for that. And I think it just will bode well for them. Like, why would they just abandon all that and go back to the kind of set they had before when they had live fans, right? You know?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm tuning in tonight. Well, here's my new favorite feud in all of WWE. So on last week's episode of Talking Smack, Edge berated the WWE 24/7 championship while reminding fans of his accomplishments, saying, "I've won 31 championships. That's more than anyone else in this company. And I'm sorry, I don't count the 24/7 championship." Now, R-Truth, who has held the 24/7 title 52 times, took exception and tweeted, "Edge, I don't count your 31 championships either, so we even."
Right there, proving why the 24/7 championship is important, why R-Truth is important because of that right there.
I have been waiting for the right thing to come along to shake R-Truth and make him angry and serious for a while. Like, you think this is like a real thing that's going somewhere? I don't know if it is or not, but I would be open-minded about it. Like, I think R-Truth and Edge, at the very least, would put on a 20-minute match on a SmackDown that would blow people's minds if given the chance to do it. 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and just either way, it's hilarious. And we're going to get some good social media back and forth out of it. And, you know, it again reminds us he's just putting over R-Truth and the title again, because we're all going, look how important he made it.
I want to see R-Truth versus Edge at SummerSlam. That's my SummerSlam match. I want to see the build. I want to see Edge just like really ragging on Truth and Truth getting really pissed off and getting pushed into a place where he's like, "I am so sick of you. I'm going to beat you up now." And they do it at SummerSlam is what I want. Right? King Rail,
Yeah.
R-Truth can wrestle. People forget that.
No, I mean, do we? I don't think we do forget that.
We definitely do. The guy doesn't do anything but roll-ups and like smack people with toys and stuff anymore. Like, this guy doesn't get a chance to go out and wrestle, right?
Yeah, but he hasn't been not given the opportunity to the extent that people think that he can't. But that's a good point. We should remind people that he can.
I like Antonio here. They should give R-Truth a serious retirement run. Yeah. 89 the Brainchild, heel Truth versus Cena feud. That was a moment. It really, really was. Is your dog in the room?
Yes, and I've been trying not to talk too much about that or acknowledge him, because if I do, he will think that I'm talking to someone because they're here, and he will bark his head off for the rest of our show. Oh. So now he's just scratching in his bed, you know, minding his own business. So I'm just letting it happen.
Okay.
You may have heard the water drinking that happened before.
I've definitely heard scratching. I just thought you had like a kill room or something. Somebody was trying to...
No, Nick. That's not it at all.
Totally not a killer. Maybe they could be friends. Dino Garofalo rated R-Truth. I'm not against it. That's pretty good.
That is really good.
And
this could really go full circle. They could feud first and then become a team together. There's a lot of gas in this.
Alonzo here. I like R-Truth being on Raw Talk. His interactions with Raw superstars are hilarious. Yeah. And wait here. Daniel Price, dogs need hydration too. That's true. Rob Humphrey, let the dog bark.
Oh, he's a Chihuahua Dachshund mix. That would hurt your ears, trust me. And he does plenty of it anyway. So, but thank you all for being understanding. He's my little babe.
I wish Willow was like more outgoing in the afternoons. I could get her in here talking on camera. She's a talkie dog.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that.
All right. Observer saying WWE chairman Vince McMahon has made this decision to call NXT superstars the main roster after seeing recent advanced ticket sales for the return to touring. Now, when the advances came in for upcoming WWE tour dates, the first since the COVID-19 pandemic hit, Vince assessed the situation. I'm imagining with a look like this.
The look and the stroking of the chin. Very important.
By saying there was no one new and fresh or exciting on the roster. Jesus Christ, what an indictment of your own product. That's when he reportedly went to NXT with the idea of freshening up the roster with some new faces who will be pushed hard right out of the box. So there you go. That's what's going on there.
That's awesome. And, we've seen people come up from NXT to many different results and with much different fanfare and support from Vince and WWE, right? Much different levels of support from him. So if he is behind the people that they're going to bring up right now and he's all for it and giving them the time and pushing them, that makes me so excited for everyone in NXT.
Yeah.
Which is not developmental.
No, it is not. And here's the thing, though, is while we're talking about this, a lot of people have mentioned this in the comment section, too, and this broke this morning as well, and that's the September 17th edition of SmackDown on Fox no longer taking place in Atlanta. The arena announced today the event has been canceled. No reason given. Refunds are available. There's not been a new location announced for the September 17th SmackDown. So very strange, Christy. There was something here as we returned to touring that happened today to cause a cancellation down in Atlanta.
There's so much going on in the world right now, and it could be a plethora of business-related things. Who knows?
Yeah, so something to keep an eye on. We also found out here while we're talking NXT, the highly anticipated rematch between Ilha Dragunov. Oh, God, I butchered that. And NXT UK champion Walter has been delayed. WWE announced that Walter is suffering from a severe injury to his left hand. He's been deemed unfit to compete. No word yet on if it's a legitimate injury. Yesterday's NXT UK episode opened with Triple H announcing Dragunov versus Walter 2 for next week's show. They then went into an in-ring press conference with the champion and challenger. It ended with no physical altercation, but the broadcast was interrupted later with an announcement that Dragunov and Walter ended up fighting backstage, which is where he suffered his hand injury. So I just wanted to go all through that, because this smells like a work to me. It was made huge news yesterday. It was made for a very dramatic tweet and everything from WWE. But the more I looked into this, the more I read, I was like, this just seems not on the level, Christy. Not to me.
No, it's a little sus. I think this is maybe something that Walter knew he had to get taken care of, and that just now they're using this faux injury as an excuse for him to go away for a little while. Doesn't that make a lot more sense?
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
like
Walter,
something ongoing that he finally has to go get taken care of.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's been the champion for 800 days now. I mean, he's been a fighting champion for 800 days. So if he needs, again, as everything's kind of changing right now, if he needs a little time to go do his thing or whatever, that's great. This just doesn't seem on the level for me. I don't know where they're going with this. I need to be more in tune with NXT UK, honestly. So,
I could definitely pay a little more attention to it too, but to be honest with you, I need a little something to catch my attention.
Yeah, well, they did it. That's the thing, is I looked at this, and they certainly did a great job of grabbing people's attention with this headline yesterday.
With this, yes.
Yeah, the severe injury of Walter. So we'll see. Hey, also from NXT UK, Pete Dunne. It's a very unfortunate story.
Yeah.
And according to Dunne, the winner of an auction that he did for charity has no intention of paying for ring gear that he auctioned from NXT TakeOver In Your House 2021. The winning bid was $5,000. Dunne shared that the eBay user sent messages to him that mocked wrestling, and this money was going to a children's hospice in the West Midlands. You're an evil man, whoever did this.
Mm-hmm.
Woman, entity, evil.
Mm-hmm. Evil. And, the only solace that I get in thinking about someone who does this, so they did a fake bid, basically, and Pete isn't going to get his $5,000 for the children's hospice, right? They're looking for someone else now to fulfill that. But the thing that kind of makes me feel a little better about a situation like this is that someone who is spending their time making fake bids for charity and then, harassing talented people on the internet is someone whose life is probably in such shambles that we don't even really need to be mad at them, because I'm sure their life sucks if that's how they're spending their time.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Nia Jax, she took to Twitter yesterday, explained a viral tweet she had made earlier in the day, reassuring many fans who were concerned. So she wrote "thank you" with the folding hand heart emoji, and a fan wrote, "You can't post cryptic tweets like that and leave. You got me stressed out."
Yes, thank you for calling her out. Come on. Thank you.
So Jax responded, "Oh no, Just pure gratitude to everyone. Never taking anything for granted in life. Love you all so much. Heart emoji ×7. Yeah, you can't do that. Can't do that.
Speaking of people who don't have what they want in life because of their attitude, yeah, she sounds like she needed a little attention today, right? She needed a little assurance that the fans want to see her. I'm sure she's a little butthurt about what's going on this weekend. And when you're a WWE superstar and you have the following and the fans that you do, you can get that acknowledgement. You can get that just by sending out a tweet like this. So great. I hope she got what she needed from that. And, Nia, we do all want to see you on TV, just like you want to be on TV.
All right, last news item here before we get to Marty the Moth in audio form, and then for everybody else in video form, we're going to dive into the mailbag for a conversation I know Christy's been waiting to have all show long about the women's Money in the Bank. That's why we put it at the end. I like to do something meaty at the end of the show now to keep people sticking around. So PWInsider.com saying company officials at WWE held an all-hands-on-deck meeting with employees yesterday. The big news coming out of the meeting, WWE has reinstated promotions and pay raises for employees after a freeze that was placed earlier this year. I get the vibe that the bloodletting has stopped for now, Christy. I would breathe a sigh of relief if you're maybe in the WWE bubble and you're still inside of that bubble.
I hope you're right, Nick, because it's like every Friday nowadays, I kind of go, kind of hold my breath, kind of keep checking the news sites, keep checking people's social media. Is there going to be another round of releases today? And if I feel that way, can you imagine how the talent there feels? So yes, this would be great if this means kind of a return to normal business for them.
Yeah, we have an interview I'm dropping next week. I don't know if it's going to be Monday or Tuesday. I think it's going to be Tuesday. I think Monday we're going to start with Corderas. But Arya Daivari, I talked to Arya and just kind of talking to him about he's wrestling every week on 205 Live, and they're pairing him with new people and advanced people, and he's feeling very safe. But then he sees Braun Strowman get fired, and he's like, oh, shit. Anybody could be expendable right now. That had to be a very, very, very nerve-wracking 6 weeks around the company there, as that all was all playing out. I cannot fathom being inside of that,
Yeah, absolutely. But, things can change so quickly. We just heard there's going to be a bunch of call-ups from NXT and SummerSlam is going on and who's coming in for that. I'm just saying things change so quickly. It's such a fast-paced environment there that I'm sure everybody's ready to be on to the next positive thing.
All right. Hey, we're going to dive into the mailbag now. Thank you, Christy, for joining me at the top show, talk all the news of the day. Thank you very much to Marty the Moth. If you're watching us in video form, that video interview with Marty is going to drop in about 26 minutes over on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel. Go raid that video and support Marty the Moth. I really, really enjoyed this conversation. All right, let's dive into the mailbag at Wink Daily, WINC Daily over on Twitter. Today's poll question stemmed from the fact that Tamina Snuka was announced as the final competitor for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match on Sunday. This was announced, I think, just on Twitter, much like Natalia's was. So it'll be her, Natalya, Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, Asuka, Naomi, Alexa, and Nikki Cross, or Nikki Ash now, as participants in the match. I wanted to ask you all who you think should win it, but before we get to the results or anything, you said this has you the most intrigued of anything going into SmackDown. Why is that, Christy?
I loved what they did last week to build up to this. It just is all my favorite people in real life. And it just is some of the best of their best talent, they're telling a great story. It seems unpredictable to me at this point. I don't love that we just have gotten these kind of unceremonious announcements on Twitter of who's going to be in the match. But I think the women are definitely going to make up for any, lackluster pre-planning that went into this on Sunday. And they bring it so hard. There just is another element now that there's a women's Money in the Bank too. Not that it should be about this, because for women it always is, and we don't want it to be, but I want to see what they're all going to wear. I want to sit and watch everybody's entrance and cheer them on into the ring. They just make me excited, these performers, because they're so awesome.
Who do you want to see win it? Who's your pick?
I would love, love, love to see Liv walk out of SummerSlam with this championship opportunity. I just think it's time. People will get behind her. And also she has such skills that I don't think we've seen yet in storytelling and in promos and that kind of thing, that she could do the most with it out of anyone else. Anyone else winning it, I kind of just feel like would be, feeding WWE's creative. Whereas her winning it almost seems like, yeah, all of us winning it. The fans, we won, right?
Here's what I want with Liv. And I want Liv to have everything as well and be very successful. I don't, but my attitude, like, I don't know. A lot of the times I like heels to win the Money in the Bank, not all the time. And my pick here actually isn't a heel for this, which I'll get into here in a second. But I think with Liv, like, since the momentum is really like getting behind her at the moment, I think getting close here, but winning Royal Rumble later this year and marching into Mania to take on a heel champion at Mania would be a stronger path for Liv. I don't see Liv walking around or skipping around with a Money in the Bank briefcase having the kind of bite, right, that some of these other women have. I just don't know that that's the path to the next level for her. I don't know if that resonates at all with you. You know?
Yes, it does. I see what you're saying, that maybe a different kind of win would serve her better. And yeah, that's a good point.
For my money, I have two picks. First, I think Zelina Vega would be great, right? Her with the briefcase. She's got this attitude right now. I think she's going to be able to connect as a heel in front of fans and things. But I want Naomi. Like, I think that Liv's moment is building to the kind of fervor that Naomi is having right now. There is a real energy for Naomi to succeed in this moment. And when I look at how she was treated so dirty, it seems, by the fans in the wake of the most recent Jimmy situation, and how there really doesn't seem to be any ramifications for Jimmy. In fact, what we're talking about here, we started the show talking about, is that Jimmy's got a WrestleMania match lined up here in 9 months, Yep,
and that is exactly what we predicted last week, Nick. There would be no repercussions.
There'll be no repercussions. So if you're not going to punish Jimmy, maybe reward Naomi. Okay? Like, maybe...
Okay.
Maybe, and I know that it's not a thing in WWE to think about, like, hey, what's going to make people, like, feel good, right, in this moment, But, like, it's a rough time for her, I would imagine, and a big boost of confidence from the company right now, and a main story for fans to sink their teeth into, I think could be good for everybody,
It absolutely could. And, it kind of feels like when the rare moments that Naomi has had those opportunities in the past, something has gone amiss. Remember when she got injured right after winning the championship at Mania and all that stuff. So I think it feels like we're still waiting, right, for her to get that big opportunity. And this could absolutely be it.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to dive into what you all said here in the comments.
I want to know.
This is popping right in the comments section right now. I see a lot of people tuned in. A lot of people have opinions. We're going to get to your comments as well, so fill them up. I'll do my best to pull as many comments on after we wrap with the Twitter comments. So 250 votes here in the last hour. 55.5% want Liv Morgan to win this briefcase. 19.9 Zelina. Only 10.2 picking Naomi. 14.4 somebody else. So Liv, that's what they want. So,
wow. Well, that makes me think it's not going to happen because, like you said, they don't really cater to the fans. So you're probably right there.
But she was so close, right? And you could find ways to keep her strong and stories. And then she gets that Rumble win after just like all of these near attempts. You can roll through Survivor Series. Maybe she's like the lone survivor there to, give her or, her. And
dude, she already is the lone survivor from Riot Squad.
True. Yeah, I'm just saying there's ways to better position her anyway.
Yeah.
So the bus cat, Zelina, came back for a reason, so I hope she gets the briefcase. Liv would also be great.
No, but you know what? I feel like with Zelina, her greatest value is in being a manager for another talent. And I think especially, with other things that are going on right now, I think that's how they see her eventually. Like, she's going to be in this match to cause some havoc. She's going to be in the women's Money in the Bank match, but they don't see her as somebody that they need to create a storyline as far as wrestling goes. I guarantee you.
At 6 rings 98.80, Tamina. Philip Bryant 180. Sasha Banks is not in this match, so she can't compete.
Oh, but I love a fan who's just always Sasha Banks.
Speedy Hamburger, Alexa Bliss. Alexa could use something. I don't count her out. I don't count it out.
I think her losing is so much more interesting.
She just needs something.
Like has so much more potential. Yeah, maybe like a loss. Like I think there's going to be something that goes down between her and Nikki at Money in the Bank that is just as much of a story as the ultimate winner of the match.
Okay, fair enough. And at Tam Lizen saying Nikki Cross, Maddie Liv.
Yay.
All right, then we'll drive over here to the comment section from the live chat. So we have Daniel Price. Apparently, Vince is high on the whole Super Nikki thing.
How could you not be?
It's great.
Oh, Nick Hausman, how can you not be?
I mean, I like it, but it's not Money in the Bank for me. Like, I don't want another goofball Otis character carrying that briefcase. You know, we've seen what that looks like. You know, I want a competitor with some bite walking out with these briefcases this year.
Yeah, I think Nikki could pull it off with the Nikki Ash thing, but I see what you're saying.
Alonzo here saying, no offense to Tamina, but I was hoping the last SmackDown participants would be a Toni Storm, a Sonya Deville, or a Sasha Banks, or a Becky Lynch, is what I thought that opening was for. I was shocked they just threw this out there. Why not at least have a little tease to get you to tune in? Who's going to be in on SmackDown? I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, and just, knowing Sonya Deville as well as I do, I am shocked that she didn't put herself in that match.
We have Daniel Price saying, apparently Liv's supposedly getting traded, but that wouldn't happen till October when they do the draft. And
but it could play into what happens this weekend. So
okay. We have here from Phil. They better not cash in the same night. The briefcase could boost some people's career like Rollins. I am all about that.
100%.
Yeah. Heather Shatley, Nikki Ash. That's my pick. All right. Let's see here. We have Rob Humphrey. Alexa could hypnotize someone into getting the briefcase for her. Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, I like that, Rob.
Oh, wow. Or what about Reggie, right? Like she could hypnotize him and he climbs in the ring and climbs up the ladder, does it for her.
Oh, well, we don't want to go to Carmella Ellsworth either.
Okay.
We've been there, done that, and it didn't work out good.
Kristen Chodas, no more goofballs.
We hear you, Kristen.
We also had Rob Humphreys here saying Becky could still win it. Didn't Brock win it a couple years ago without even being in the match? Give us Boombox Brock. I think he took somebody out and was inserted into it, right? I forget what happened.
Yeah, I do as well.
No, Daniel saying, yeah, Rob Lesnar just showed up, beat everybody down, and he left with it.
Yeah, and someone in very small amounts of time, and then he kind of kill some actual performers' careers in that. Yeah, that was bad. I do remember now because that was bad.
Okay. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. Like I said, Monday, we're either going to lead off. It's going to be Raj is in Hawaii right now, so we haven't even talked about what the schedule looks like.
Oh, aloha, Raj.
Yeah, he's been tweeting about how he's still watching wrestling in Hawaii, and I'm like, I don't know, dude. If I was in Hawaii, I wouldn't be watching wrestling. But so Monday, I'm guessing Jimmy Corderas, but maybe Arya Davari. But one or the other. It'll be a Monday, Tuesday flip. We also next week we're gonna have Tucker, who I know Six Rings is like, Six Rings is constantly written in Tucker forever, right? For everything. So I told Tucker at the top of the interview, just so you know, there's a super fan named Six Rings that has been singing your praises, and he gives a formal shout out to Six Rings next week. So that's on.
Oh my God, I love that. See, everybody, there's a reason to come and hang out with Nick every week, and pretty soon you'll be chatting with your favorite wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that.
Personal shout outs from your favorite wrestlers if you get in with me, as Kristen said. So
better than Cameo.
Yes. So come back on Monday. I'll have Michael Weissman with me. If you support the Wrestling Inc. Daily, support WrestlingInc.com. We're on all your socials, and of course the Wrestling Inc. podcast. That's the one that goes live at night after all the big shows, and you can find that on all the podcast platforms as well. Chrissy, what do you want to plug pro put over here to wrap up the show today?
I have things up my sleeve, but I hate to be an announcement of an announcement. So I want to tell everybody to just make sure you are following at Christy Reports and checking out that links page on a regular basis. And of course, be in touch this Sunday during Money in the Bank, because I will be watching.
All right. Hey, I will also be watching. I'll be watching SmackDown tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday night on Fight, or if you're in Chicago Heights, come to Warrior Wrestling. Got a big show planned for tomorrow night. Danhausen, Kylie Ray, Ninja Mac versus Brian Cage. It's going to be just straight fire. It's going to be insane. So check that out. I am at Nick_Hausman on Twitter. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And remember, if you winked, you didn't miss it.